Let's turn our attention now to the economy, and the Ghana Statistical Service is warning that prices of goods and services may continue to rise on the market despite the onset of the harvest season for food crops. The service says this is as a result of the heavy component of imported inflation in the overall pricing rate on the market. Inflation for July 2022 went up to 31.7%. That's up from 29.8% in June. This is the highest recorded since late 2003. Many traders have been lamenting the impact of the situation on their businesses.
Super. It's the last year crap na ye complain crap no cry. Se first since amani na e 4 kese pa 4 10 cedi. Sisi 3 10 cedi na kit de 1 5 na 3 4 10 cedi sisi anu ye 4 10 cedi. Osa wonu so ya tumu pa nyezi. Abidjan samu si first adeka de odibeto adeka be mienu sisi odibeto be ba kupe. Se ya tumu ankasa. Sena ye ton first nkrapo ukita 15 cedi. Ena 12 cedi scrap wa de hunu benye bi scrap ato sisi antisa sisi de hunu de digi 12 cedis ni 13 sisi akodi 15 cedi de di 15 akodi 17 18 ebi wo kra obe bi scrap na ni musa ne je se ya tun nti ebi ani didi so ni kese bia senate wade no so be hwe na udi ato be a usu sheda bokasa obi otobe 5 as say oba otobe 2 and 3 ntisi ade asisa
ene man say ne bo akosoro pa nti say ye hu se de ye ya mane ma no ton ye to a e kanko na ye bo ya bokasa ye hu se de ye be ye hu kura nti se de mo be ye no mo nye ye
Salo mango. Bako, sisi abako
7 cedis. Ena popo no. Popo no so miensa 10 cedis. First na 9 ni num 10 cedis. Sisi de aba miensa. Watermelon. First na 30 Ghana. Ene sisi ene aba 40. Ene nkitwa no 15 cedis. Pay and so back 10 cedis and a 5. They say near man, ne boyedin.
We can now hear from the head of price statistics, the Ghana Statistical Service, John Foster Ijao, who tells JoyNews the trend may persist.
We are in the harvest season and look at the weight of food items in the basket. One would generally expect that the low prices of food products because of the harvest season will bring it down. But there are other factors in the basket that affect inflation. If we continue seeing a higher imported inflation because of the global crisis, there will be pass-through effect in cutting food from the farm gate to the market centers. So, yes, ordinarily, because of the season in which we find ourselves, I would have said yes. But these other factors are also things that we should not gloss over.
And my colleague Kofi J joins me in the studio to give us some more detail on the inflation statistics. Over the last period, Kofi, we've seen food and transport being the major drivers of inflation. We've dwelt so much on food. With yesterday, we talked about herrings, being way above the headline figure of 31.7. Let's go into transport. What exactly is happening?
Right. So, Ernest, you're right. The headline figure is 31.7%. But if you do a disaggregation, you will see that most of the key drivers all have inflation above this headline figure that we are talking about. And so we looked at, transport's inflation right from March to July 2022. And so March, this year, transport inflation was around 27.6%. And this was above the headline figure back then in March. Now, fast forward, you can see, some what we call a stratospheric rise from what we see in March to July, which is 44.6%. And so you can see the color gradient actually increasing for transport inflation. We've moved all the way from 27.6% to now 44.6%, almost, doubling what we were used to see in March this year. But what is actually driving this transport inflation to go up? Now, in the world of inflation, or in the arena of inflation, whatever happens to one commodity actually has the tendency to affect the other, especially when it has to do with fuel. So if you look at the inflation for diesel and petrol, almost all of them are imported. Now, just look at diesel. It has gone up by more than 113% this year, and petrol also has gone up by more than 83%. Now, if you find diesel and petrol all going up, it is certain that it's going to affect transport fares. And when transport fares are up, every other good in the market also has the tendency of going up. That is why we actually see this trend that we are seeing. And so a year ago, inflation was a single digit. So a year ago, around this same time, we're talking about inflation, we're talking about 9%. Now we are talking about that same rate a year ago, and it's 31.7%.
Very interesting analysis there, Kofi. Thank you very much.